So, you want to build a media empire from scratch? What if I told you we found the entire playbook, for one, just out in the wild? Well, today we're doing exactly that. We're going to deconstruct a real-world step-by-step guide to building a media brand. Let's get right into it.
It's a pretty wild question, isn't it? How do you build a real business by just giving away your best stuff for free? I know, it sounds completely backward, but you got to stick with me here, because in the noisy world we live in today, this just might be the single most powerful way to cut through all that noise and build an audience that actually pays.
So, our case study today is a company called Lender Tribune. They're in the private lending space. But here's the incredible part. We have their entire game plan. I'm talking their content strategy for the next 2 years, their secrets for growing an audience, and their exact plan for making money. This is a super rare look under the hood of a modern media machine while it's running at full steam.
Okay, part one, the content engine. So where do you even start with something like this? Well, it all begins with the content. This isn't just fluff. It's the literal engine that powers the whole operation. If you get this part wrong, nothing else is going to work.
Now, this is what I think is so brilliant about their approach. They're not just throwing random articles at the wall and hoping something sticks. Nope, everything they're planning is built around this one big, powerful idea, the alternative advantage. This gives them a laser focus. It means every single piece of content is designed to solve a very specific problem for their audience.
And they structure this with like military precision. The whole year is broken down into 4 quarterly sprints. Quarter 1 is all about fundraising. Quarter 2, okay, now that you have the money, how do you actually execute? Quarter 3 is about building that long-term wealth, and my favorite, Quarter 4, is about finding opportunity when everything feels chaotic. You see, it's not just a content calendar, it's more like a strategic curriculum that walks their audience through the entire business cycle.
But here's where we get to the real secret sauce. They don't just create articles. The core of their strategy is what they call lead gen assets. And we're talking about genuinely useful stuff. Checklists, calculators, directories, tangible resources that people can actually use. And they make one of these every single month. And what do they do with them? They give them away for free.
So you're making all this amazing free content, but that's only half the battle, right? How do you actually turn a casual reader into a loyal fan? Well, that's where the audience flywheel comes in. And this right here, this is their secret weapon. It's called the PDF gate. And the idea is so simple, it's absolutely genius. They basically offer up one of those high-value resources we just talked about in exchange for a tiny bit of social media interaction. Let's break down exactly how this works. First, they post something super valuable, like a list of the top 50 lenders. Second, instead of just posting a link, they tell people to comment send it if they want the file. Now, why do they do that? Because it creates a flood of comments, which signals to the algorithm, hey, people love this post, show it to more people. And finally, and this part is key, they personally DM the asset to each person. That opens the door for a one-on-one conversation. It's just so smart.
But does it actually work? Well, their own media kit tells the story. A combined audience of over 50,000 people. Yeah, that's the power you get when that flywheel starts spinning.
Okay, so they've built this massive, super engaged audience. The next logical question is, how do you actually make money from it? Because let's be real. Giving away free PDFs all day is great, but it doesn't exactly keep the lights on.
This is where they completely flip the script. They take all that trust and attention they've worked so hard to earn, and they package it into a media kit. Think about that for a second. They're not really selling ads, they're selling access to a highly engaged, super niche audience. It's a huge difference.
And their media kit is basically a menu of options. You can get in the door with something they call a quarterly sprint for just under $600. Or you can go all in and become a market leader for a few thousand a year, which gets you all the bells and whistles like premium branding. They've literally productized their audience's attention.
And here you can see what it all leads to. This is the final product. Companies can buy these banner ads and put their brand directly in front of a hyper-targeted audience of thousands of potential customers. It's a total win-win.
So, let's put all these pieces together, because this isn't just a random bag of marketing tactics. It's a beautifully designed, fully integrated system.
So let's recap the playbook. First, you create immense value. You generate hyper-specific content that solves real problems. Second, you build an audience that you own, using clever tactics like the PDF gate to turn social media viewers into email subscribers. Third, you monetize the trust you've built by selling access to that audience. And you see how it works? Each part feeds the next, creating this self-reinforcing flywheel that just gets stronger and stronger over time.
And that kind of brings us to the big final question. In a world that is just drowning in noise and advertising, is this what it all comes down to? Is patiently building trust day in and day out by giving away incredible value the last true competitive advantage we have left?